Let's go, let's go. Hey guys, Eddie Gray. Listen, we're going to be talking about music production fundamentals. Now, this is a broad subject, obviously, but if we look at music in the past 100 years, 200 years, it's kind of new. This hasn't been around a long time, but we would consider to be the modern pop format. You think about the first producer that really created our role, George Martin. This was happening in the 50s, in the 40s, in the 30s. And so this world doesn't even have 100 years under its belt. Music back in the heyday, was very different than it is now. The structure was very different, right? It's a lot more about the product now and what's behind the actual song than it is just the music. But let's think about at its core, regardless of song structure and music being a commodity, let's just think about when we hear a song, whether it's in the 1800s or in the 2020s, what are we hearing exactly? Well, number one, we're hearing rhythm. Without fail, every single song to some degree, even if it's ambient, it has a sense of a rhythmic grounding. Now, this could be obviously based on the musical time, quarter notes, eighth notes. It could be 3/4 time signature, 6/8, whatever the case may be. But we have always in music a rhythmic foundation. Next, we always seem to have some type of harmony, holding together, emotionally speaking, the song. When we feel something, when we're provoked emotionally, it usually happens because of a progression of chords. You see, music theory at its very basis, it essentially is a formula to make others feel something. This is why we see the same chord progressions over and over and over again. Think Bob Marley, No Woman, No Cry. Think U2, With or Without You. Think The Police, Every Breath You Take. Think a billion other songs that have been written in that same chord progression. There's a reason why the chord progression works. Now, if you apply the chord progression to your own song and it's not effective, it's not because the chord progression is wrong. It's that we're not executing properly. And so this should be encouraging that we don't necessarily have to create something new, but we have to take the lessons of the past. We have to borrow from the great teachers of the past, and we have to learn to bring the ideas to life in the current day, in the current climate today. So that should be encouraging. That should make you feel good about it. So again, rhythm, harmony, and melody. Now, one thing I've learned about music, guys, is that in every single song, there's always one leader. There's always one element that's taking the attention of the entire crowd. It's calling unto it the energy of attention. So when you're making your music, if it has a lead element or not, it doesn't really matter. What I'm looking for is what is the most attractive or encompassing element in this song. What's captivating me? Is it the chords? Is it the way that the player is performing the arpeggio? What's captivating me? So there's always something leading the way. Now, something could be leading the way, and that can be something that's a bit more in the background, and then a lead comes in and then takes over the attention. So the ball can be passed, if you know what I mean. It's very important that you really start to understand these elements. I want you to listen to a couple songs, all from different decades, easy to do nowadays. And I want you to really listen to the elements so you can really take it in and understand that it doesn't matter if you're listening to country, and it doesn't matter if you're listening to pop or future bass or folk or Django Reinhardt or Pink Floyd or anybody, Jay-Z. The elements are always the same. This is why I tell people I can do any style of music. I mean, anything from country, which I've done, rap, which I've done, and not because I necessarily, grew up with it. I mean, I grew up listening to all kinds of music, but it's just because the elements are all the same and I work hard to get there. So if you really want it, like you say you want it, then you will do whatever it takes. Get the sample pack, learn the rhythm, learn the DAW to construct the proper time signature, to make sure that you hit all the marks and all the edit points, whatever it takes. We're going to make sure that we get your music to the next level. So go ahead and study a couple of songs. Let's call it 5 in the last 5 decades. And I know it's going to open up your mind in a whole new way. Listen to music you normally wouldn't listen to. Listen to folklorico, or listen to some reggaeton or salsa or Egyptian music, whatever. It doesn't really matter. But the common elements remain the same: rhythm, harmony, and melody. All right, team. I will see you on the next video. Stay up.